Train the muscles, not the joints. So welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding. And today I'm going to talk to you about order of exercises or when to train what body parts in a week in your program. Okay, because I've had a few people ask this question. Okay, so if they're training their back and their biceps in a day, should they train their biceps first or their back? Or if they're training chest and tris together, should they train triceps first or not? Now this goes in alignment with the weak link principle. And I've talked about this in a video. I made a video on the weak link principle. And whatever body part that you train first is usually the body part that you're going to give the highest priority to. You will have more energy for that body part. But more importantly, because I don't think it's as important to train chest or back first. I find that those two body parts, you can kind of go back and forth. I change it up all the time. But the big thing is that if you're going to be doing a compound lift, such as bench press, but you're going to be training one of the smaller muscle groups involved in that lift first, such as triceps, I can guarantee you that your triceps will get the majority of the results, not the chest or not the delts, okay? So that's the pre-exhaust principle. So I had one person asking me, they're training back, but they're training biceps first because they want their biceps to really grow. Well, that's great and everything, but the reason why I wouldn't necessarily recommend it is that the biceps are a much weaker muscle group than the back overall. And you really need everything to be firing properly in order for the back to hit failure. And if you're training biceps first, your biceps are going to be hitting failure even more so before the back can. And usually the biceps, especially at first when people are beginning in training, their biceps will hit failure long before their back does because they haven't learned how to fire their back properly. They're still pulling dominantly with the biceps when they're training their back. I would not recommend training a small muscle group first and then training a compound muscle group, unless of course you want to hit that one muscle group, okay? So if you want to hit your delts, then by all means do bench presses after doing some shoulder lateral raises or front delts or whatever. Then do bench press if you want to hit your delts. If you want to hit your chest though, then you definitely don't want to be hitting your smaller muscle group first and then going to bench presses, okay? Same thing with back, same thing with squats, whatever, right? So same thing with any compound exercise. Now the other thing I had somebody ask me about, so say you're doing a 4-day split, I'd recommend changing the order in which you do your body parts. So say you do, you're doing chest one day, but you're doing shoulders before the chest day, change your order around. Try to put back in between chest and shoulders or legs in between chest and shoulders. So that way you're not hitting the delts the day before you're training chest. This way, you're going to make sure that your delts are fully recovered, so that way your big muscle group, your chest, is going to be able to hit failure. Because, like I said, the delts are a smaller muscle group, and if they are fatigued, it'll be very hard for you to push that chest hard enough in order for the chest to get the absolute failure. And that's the first priority. When you want a chest to grow, or when you want any muscle to grow, you want to be able to push it as hard as possible and push it deep into failure, or push with the highest amount of weight possible, right? But say your delts are actually already fatigued, and then you can't bench press at 225. Now you can only bench press at 185 because your delts are so sore. Obviously your chest won't be able to get pushed as hard, okay? So this is just a general sort of guideline. You can just change the order in which the body parts are trained during the week. So with me, it doesn't really make much of a difference because I do a 2-day split. As you know, 2-day split, you can buy the 2-day split on my website. And the 2-day split scenario, you're training half the body one day, half the body the next day. So no matter what you're training, you're kind of fatigued the day before. And sometimes I'm training shoulders the day before I'm training my chest, and my shoulders may be a bit fatigued. But over time, I've adjusted the volume and the rep ranges in order to compensate for this, and I've also adjusted the exercises. So one way around this, say you have your front delts that are totally fatigued before you train your chest, what you can do is say, okay, because front delts are so heavily involved in chest, what I'll do is train side delts or rear delts the day before I train chest, and that way my delts don't become the weak link when I'm bench pressing. So this is one way around it. That's one way that I've gotten around it. And yeah, try it out and see if that works for you. So I hope this video helps you out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching, and take care for now.